Welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. Well, let's talk about Brad White. I've been watching some previews now. Everybody that has a SEC football channel is previewing Kentucky, and half of them they don't even know Brad White's our defensive coordinator. I guess they can't look it up. I was watching Southeastern 16, which I really like. You know, a decent podcast. Chris Lee, Blake Lovell. I remember I joined when they only had under 1,000 people. Decent podcast. They have some old guy on there who thinks he knows football, comes on there. I had to correct him on a live. Well, I didn't correct him. One of our guys did. He said Zach Calzada played poorly. One of you guys, one of my subscribers pointed out, last year he had 3,700 yards, 35 touchdowns, and completed 65% of his passes. How did he play poorly? That was on a live. So you can go and look at Southeastern 16. They previewed Kentucky yesterday. And it's just frustrating, guys, that you got a computer right in front of you and you can't look up information. So real quick, I'll just say, he said that Mark Stoops and Kentucky has dollar store players. That's what we're playing with. Of course, if he had a brain in his head and he looked, as I always tell you guys, look, listen to stats. They're right. I look them up. We were 10th in portal player pickups. That was good for 4th in the SEC. Okay. Hardly dollar store players, dude. Look it up. But of course, you go on these, don't go watch all these podcasts, especially if the people are in the age of 40, these 30-year-olds and late 20-year-olds. They're just reciting stuff, off of the internet, which, okay, whatever. But let's talk about, since they didn't know who Brad White was, I was thinking, well, guess they can't look him up. Brad White has been our defensive coordinator since 2019. So let's go over what our defense was ranked every year. 2019, he took over. We had the 20th ranked defense in 2019. We gave up 322 yards per game. Not bad. In 2020, which is a COVID year, you can write that off. We only played, 10 SEC games. We were 45th. We gave up 380 yards a game. I think we ended up 4-8 that year, but that was a COVID year. 2021, we were ranked 25th, which is pretty good. We gave up 340 yards a game. Not bad. Then his best year was 2022. We were ranked 12th. We gave up 311 yards per game, which is stellar. Now, 2023 and 2024, we regress. 2023, we were ranked 45. We gave up 353 yards per game, which 45, okay, that's about, you don't want to be above 50 for sure. And then last year, of course, we were 44th, and we gave up 345 yards per game. So I think we can do better this year with the players that he's got. Now, we might not have any Maxwell Hairston, and I can't remember the defensive lineman who got picked in the second round. Name escapes me right now. I have so many names. When you what you have is you have people trying to do the entire Southeastern Conference. They might be an Oklahoma channel or an Alabama channel. Very few people can do 16 teams and know everything about them. So a lot of people just need to stick to their team. Like, I'm going to stick to us. But let's go over our projected starting 11 defensive players. I think it's going to be good. At defensive end, we have the Humphrey Grace kid that we got from North Dakota or South Dakota, whichever Dakota. Good player, okay? Nose tackle is going to be David Gusta. Now, if you haven't watched I just did a video on Humphrey Grace and Gusta. Just put it on. Go back and watch that video of those two guys. This guy's saying a lot of people are saying, well, they can't play since they played at Washington State and, South Dakota, they can't play in the SEC. Bullshit. Yeah, come on. Why not? I bet you if they went to Auburn, they could play in SEC, couldn't they? Yeah, a little bit of a bias there. So anyway, yes. Defensive end, Humphrey Grace. Nose tackle, Gusta. Defensive tackle, Saunders, good player. We brought in Cam Olds to play the jack linebacker position. If you don't know what the jack linebacker position is, you're either being a defensive end or an outside linebacker. So you're playing on the edge, sort of. They usually do that in a 3-4. Middle linebacker is going to be Rayner, good solid player. Weak side linebacker is going to be Afari Jr. We talked about this. They moved him out of the defensive backfield to inside linebacker because he's a playmaker, he's quick, and he can get to the ball, and he can tackle someone, which is what we need. And then in our defensive backfield, we experience Waller's going to be one corner, strong safety is going to be Bryant, Jordan Lovett's going to be the free safety, Another cornerback is going to be J.Q. Hardaway. And the nickelback is going to be Quay Sheed Scott. That's your 11 players, guys, right there. Humphrey Grace, Gusta, Saunders, Olds, Rayner, Afari Jr., Waller, Bryant, Lovett, Hardaway, Scott. That's a solid 11 players right there. So I don't know who all the backups are, but that's a solid defense. If we can be in the 40s, guys, if we can be, 30s, that would be great. So we're not going to be as big in the linebacker position, anymore. Like when they moved to Afari Jr. over, he's what, 220 maybe, but he's fast. And yeah, that's what we're going for. As I've said before, the hybrid positions at linebacker, you have to be able to cover people out of the backfield, cover tight end, and if need be, cover a wide receiver. So yeah, no more, linebackers at 250 to stop the run, because everybody's playing an NFL spread offense, and you don't need to do that. Okay, so what do you guys think about Brad White? I like him. Once again, I like Mark Stoops, but hell, everybody's got him fired, so I guess if they think Stoops is no good, I mean, like I said, half the guys that do this, and you got a good podcast like Southeastern 16, a guy's got a computer right in front of him, and he goes, I don't remember the defensive coordinator's name. Well, look it up, dude. How you can get on camera unprepared, I don't know. But, and like I said, it wasn't alive, so you could edit it in, but what do I know? But anyway, no. Getting back to our defense, I don't think we're going to be worse. I don't think we're going to be worse than we were last year. God knows I don't see how we could be. The backfield, even though we had good players, I mean, Harrison was hurt some of the year. You look at my film, especially like the South Carolina game, where I broke down Lenore Sellers. There was blown coverages twice. They scored a touchdown when a guy was not even covered. We got to stop that. I mean, come on. So come on, Brad White. That's one thing I noticed on film was, yes, the defensive line played bad, but man, the back end's got to play better. I mean, we got to get a pass rush so they can't stand back there and just pick us apart. So yeah, we got to. The offense has got to stay on the field, and that's what we're building for. An offense that will take up 7 minutes. They said that. Now they do say some smart thing on these podcasts, like Southeastern 16. Chris Lee, I think the guy's name was, said, yeah, they're going to run an offense that stays on the field for 7 minutes and kicks a field goal, right, and keeps their offense off the field, a la Ole Miss. Don't put them on the field. So yeah, that's what we're going for. We're running a Boise State offense, which if you go back and watch my defensive coordinator, Bush Hamden offensive coordinator video, we talk about the Boise State offense a little bit, and what they're trying to do is run the clock. He's getting back to what he knows how to do. So anyway, one last thing, guys, before I get off here. I am going to try to do a live. It's a lot harder to do a live if you don't have 500 or 1,000 subscribers. I'd have to buy some elaborate software. And look, I know my camera works. I think I'm going to try it on August 1st. Friday, August 1st, we're going to try live. I know my camera works. I'll see if my mic works. It is just so difficult to do it through the YouTube studio. I don't know how well it will go. I know you'll be able to see me, and if you can hear me and we can type, then that's great. So I'll probably just set a time and tell you have them go live this time, and then I'm just going to go live, and we'll see how it goes. It should work, but if not, I'll buy some software. But yeah, until you get to 500 or 1,000, they limit what you can do. You can't put up a poll. You can't do this. You can't do that. Like I said, you can get around it by buying software, which we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would like to do a live, and I would like to stream during the game, so we can sit there and talk about the game during the game. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Also, all my subscribers know I have a short portion of my channel. We do football and basketball. I also have a basketball portion of the channel. All right, guys, next video coming up. Like I said, we're going to continue to preview the teams we're going to play on our schedule. We're going to do I think Tennessee's quarterback. If I haven't already done that, I may already do that first. We'll do Tennessee's quarterback, then Tennessee. Then I think we play Auburn next. So I'll do Arnold, the kid from Oklahoma, and then I'll do that. So you can take a look at the quarterback. it doesn't get a lot of views, but I like doing it just because you can watch a little bit of film on that player and see who we're going to face and see that, you know what, Zach Calzada may not be the worst quarterback in the SEC if you start watching Jackson Arnold, the Joey Aguilar kid or whoever, and some other players from other teams. You're like, well, damn, uh, Calzada is just as good as they are. But you know what? We'll see. It's all talk right now. Look, it's all talk. Nobody knows anything. Look, nobody's giving us a chance, and I get it. You look at our schedule, it's brutal. We don't get to play Missouri. We don't get to play Mississippi State. We don't get to play Arkansas. Somebody pointed that out. We don't play, of the 4 bottom teams, we only play Vanderbilt. So, look, doesn't matter. Nobody's going to cry for us. Hey, by God, then let's line up and play Texas. I mean, let's line up and play Florida, and we're not going to beat Ole Miss. Okay, right. I know. So we're only going to win 2. We're not going to beat Toledo, guys. We're only going to win 2 games. That's how brave these people are when they predict our season. Took a lot of knowledge to do that, guys. Way out there doing those podcasts on the SEC, man. Come on. All right, guys. Listen, I appreciate it. More videos coming up.